This is Samar Newsome, and you joining us again for another episode of the Musician Shed podcast. I got my brother, my dear brother,
yes, sir.
Dana Sorey, the Dana Sorey with me today.
Now.
So I'm honored that you came up.
Man, it's my honor, bro.
This
hang out
brother.
with you, yes, sir.
And I mean, the dude's resume it precedes him. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, and I know he's a humble dude. Like, first of all, he's from Jersey, so that's super love right
Jersey
there.
Boy.
Jersey, stand up, because Jersey's all over right now. I mean, I had my man, my young boy, one of my students. He just got a Grammy nom for Tiana Taylor.
Oh, beautiful!
And I'm like,
dang.
bro, I just talked to him the other day. I'm like, bro, that's amazing.
Oh, that is amazing.
And I remember when he just was starting as a musician.
Okay,
I want to get better. So I'm so happy. But like, I'm happy to represent New Jersey. You
yes,
know
sir.
What I'm saying? And for what I do and what you do, man, tell the folks, because I think people need to know who you are. I know people know who you are, but I feel like you one of those, like how I always wanted to be. I want to be like well-known, well-renowned, but not famous.
Yeah, I got you.
So you one of those people who, if people in the industry talk about, they all know you.
Oh, man,
they have no choice but to know you.
I appreciate that.
Your success tells the story. But tell us about who you are, where you started, and what you like, where you are now.
Well, man, my name is Dana Sorey. I'm a music producer, but a musician at heart, of course. Started on an organ, man. You know, my dad had a B3 in the crib, and you know, my love for music has kind of grown following him. And then, you know, my path of just meeting all these amazing people. A lot of people don't know that in my younger days, I met Ty Tribbett. We were really going to elementary, like going to school together as like kids.
Wow.
And we became really cool, and found out I loved a lot of the same things that he loved. So that friendship just led me to meeting a bunch of people in paths in and out of being in Willingboro and Philly and the Philly sound and New York and all that. You know, it's just the journey just got crazier. And the more serious I got about music, the more I really got into it and said, you know what, this could really be a career, you know what I mean? And I had an uncle of mine who taught me a long time ago to just don't limit yourself to just being a musician and just getting on your keyboard. Well, like what else can you do in that under the same umbrella? So I got serious about production and labels and songwriting, and thank God that I do that to this day, and had a really beautiful ride of songwriting, making music, and commercial production, and touring, and the whole gamut, man. You know, I always thought I was going to be a record exec at some point too, until the record execs told me, "Don't do it, don't do it, Dana.
Don't mess with it.
You're going to change." You know,
wow.
They say they would change your love for music. So I was like, really? You know what I mean? So they kind of pushed me away from getting into the record business. I gotta have a production company, but I was going to start a label, and they just told me not to do it, bro. Wow. They said you will lose your passion for it, like what it's really all about. So I kind of backtracked from getting into the record exec side of things, and just, you know, stuck with them making music and being an independent contractor as a music producer. And that's what I do to this day. I live in Delaware, and built a really cool company, man. So that's who I am. I'm never gonna. I hate talking about myself.
Oh no,
so
you gotta talk.
I figure out ways I had to get around talking about all the things. But I say I'm a music fan first, and a good chunk of my career actually was in New Brunswick when I met Eric Roberson, and he had a studio not too far. When I was coming here, I was like, man, this can't be but so far away from where Eric Roberson used to live. And he had a studio called the Blue Room.
Oh, wow.
And his parents had this beautiful home, and they let him tear up the whole basement and build his little studio.
Nice.
So me, Ty, Thaddeus, Pudge, Spank, and Paris, we would drive to New Brunswick all the time to make music with Eric Roberson. And that's how we kind of got our bones with making music with him. Dope. Yeah, so it's been sweet.
Okay, yeah, so that's amazing. I mean, again, you from Jersey, so that would make sense.
Jersey boy, man, for sure.
Man, I think unfortunately people just sleep on Jersey, but it's so many huge things from Jersey.
So many,
like,
man.
The documentary I got to do, I talk about like Frank Sinatra. I mean, top tier.
Yeah.
Whitney Houston, top tier. Like they're not just in the they're the top of the category.
They are the
So
top.
it's amazing.
Creme de la creme, I think.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So, so you didn't mention a bunch of things, but that's okay.
I'll let you fill in the blanks.
No, I got you. I understand. Let's talk a little bit about because I've heard a lot of your stories. That's what's good.
Okay.
But let's talk about how I met you. Your Stay Home Money movement.
Yes, sir.
Tell us about that.
Stay Home Money movement is just pretty much like a platform for music creatives, aspiring producers, songwriters, execs, business people, marketing people, A&R, anybody that wants to learn the business. I started that platform because I would always get phone calls of people saying, could they come and sit with me and or sit up under me and learn certain things. And I mean, I'm only one person, you know what I mean? So I can only do but so much. So I started a platform that I could, be able to encourage these type of musicians, these type people that have the same energy and passion as me, and try to help them along and figuring out music business or what their passions are and what that looks like. And I would start just doing pre-recorded tapings of myself just talking about the music business. And it was funny because back in the day, before I started the Stay Home Money movement, I really wasn't on social media like that.
Right.
I was very much a studio guy, focused. People gave me a budget. We gotta get this record done. So I got all my young musicians coming through, like, yo, can they selfie, like take pictures? Can we video ourselves? And I'm like, man, no, we gotta work. Boom, boom, boom.
Right.
And I remember we were working on a Miranda Curtis record that did really, really well. And the label called me and was like, Dana, why don't you ever post? Like, what are you talking about? Why don't you ever? I'm like, man, I gotta work. I'm trying to, I don't got enough time to be posting and making videos and taking pictures. And they say, well, you got, people want to know the behind the scenes of what we do. So they gave me this timeline of spending like 30 minutes a week just posting. Yeah. And I was so confused. I was such a dinosaur. I did not know it. And then they was like, well, we'll go live. Like, go live? What's that? Like, how you go live? So they taught me all the stuff. And then my daughter, of course, walked me through it. And I'm going live, and I just started, hearing so many people that were fans and knowing my story. Like, bro, what Dana Sorey on C? Some people know me as Dana Sorey. Some people know me as Seabass. Some people just know me as D, or they just know me as Ty's MD, or MD, So I'm getting into just seeing all these people like, yo, Dana Sorey on the joint. And somebody asked me a question, was like, yo, why don't you tour anymore? Like, why don't we, because I was working for Island Records with Stanley Brown at one point. Was touring as a touring musician. And I stopped doing that for a long stint because I was trying to get serious about record business. And so somebody said, why did you tour anymore? And I said, man, I'm about to stay home money. It just kind of came out.
Yeah.
And then everybody like, stay home money. Like, hashtag stay home money. I'm like, what's a hashtag? Felt, I didn't know any of this stuff. And my boy called me, was like, yo, bro, like, yo, you should like make it a viable situation where people can kind of come on and talk. So I, that 30 minutes turned into an hour, that hour turned into 2 hours. And before you know it, man, I had a whole following of musicians, just asking me questions. All the questions are always about my Ty Tribbett and Soundcheck days. But now, most importantly, with everything I've been doing and God really blessing the production and the songwriting and building studios and entrepreneurship side of what I do, the administrative side of what I do, I've really gained a lot of followers who are interested in how do you do that. So, this is a really cool platform where a whole bunch of us come together on Zooms and we talk about the music business, current music business, stuff to come. Huge conversation on AI, as you know, we talk about. And then that turned into, we were doing everything pre-recorded online, and that turned into, I got to bring these people together. Like, we'd never seen each other in person. So we started, once a year linking up and doing retreats. So I would, we called the Stay Home Money movement. So I rented this huge Airbnb and brought everybody into my space. And I was like, yo, it would be cool to just make these, exercises that will make all these people who never, only seen each other on camera, make them write a song together and like 5 or 6 hours. And that became a whole thing. And so we have a lot of fun, man. We talk about a lot. We talk about pretty much everything in the music business. And I mentor people. It's like a really glorified mentorship program.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, I think mentorship is so important. I mean, that's the purpose of the podcast too, is really to kind of give an opportunity for young musicians, even older musicians. I find like there's some older musicians that struggle in the economy we have, and the, you know, just how, like we talk about pivots. That's one of the things I talk about with everybody, is just like, why is it important to pivot, or how have you pivoted? I've been blessed just have several different sources. You know what I'm saying? And I know that's not everybody's situation, but there are options. You know what I'm saying? There's always options. And what I want first, you tried to skate past and said you produced the whole record for Miranda, did you not?
Yeah, me and Miranda,
did pretty
found
good.
Miranda. I was in Dothan, Alabama, producing an artist named L. Spencer Smith.
Oh.
And man, L. Spencer really had an amazing budget to bring in like the best of the best. And that's where I met Miranda. I met Daniel Johnson. I met Gene Moore.
Wow.
I met so many people during this recording. Bonita Washington at the time. And like, who are all these singing folk? And, you know, we all kind of came really close and became family. And a lot of them said, hey man, if I ever work on a record, can I hit you? You know what I mean? Because I like the way you did L. Spencer's record. And we had the team of all teams, man. I mean, it was just a beautiful squad. We did a record called Unstoppable. Was still to this day one of my favorite records. And we had a really nice budget, and that whole scenario and that time we spent together in this small little town called of Dothan, Alabama, and we tore that place down. Shout out to Hart Ramsey. We was at his church, and we had such a great time. And so Miranda ended up hitting me maybe a year later of me working on that record, saying that she was working on the record and could I help her? And I said, of course, you know what I mean? So she came up and showed me, you know, the tunes, the songs she had. I felt like she had something really, really strong. And we went in and put our chips together, did like a little small partnership. And she pretty much was amazing because she had I think she was living in Atlanta and working at E. Dewey Smith's church as a praise and worship leader or something. And T.D. Jakes had came and did a conference at E. Dewey's, one of E. Dewey's conference there. And Jakes is one of the preachers.
Okay.
And Miranda, she sang, I cannot remember the song, but it was a KCJ song that went viral for her.
Okay.
And that her popularity just from that clip, you know, she started getting invited to all these other churches.
Wow.
And before you know it, man, she ended up getting a job at the Potter House.
Wow.
So it was like, this is all the time.
After.
Parallel to us working on music.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So she became like this YouTube praise and worship girl that everybody was YouTubing.
Wow.
And so that record came right on time. Mm-hmm. Boom. And we put that record out. And pretty much the record had done so well. We didn't have any label help, anything. Miranda did everything out of her own pocket. Wow. And just a lot of hard work, rolling up her sleeves. And pretty much I walked that record I pretty much could have walked that record into any label. It was just because she ended up getting the #1 album without any marketing, any label, any financial help, just raw talent, raw anointed voice. You know, we had great production, we had great songs, and we blew the lid off. So by the time we were done, you know, I took a meeting, man, and I was like, okay, let me take a whole bunch of meetings. But it was one label called Fair Trade that they were not a popular black label. Mm-hmm. This guy named Jeff Mosley at Fair Trade Services, he had a lot to do with integrity and CeCe Winans and John P. Key. He wasn't heavy into the black gospel thing. Yeah. But he had some connections with it. And I called and Brad picked the phone up and I was like, yo, you don't know me. My name's Dana Sorey, but I'm pretty sure I have the next top star in gospel music, female. Her name is Miranda Curtis. And that's all I did. I said, if you're interested in having a conversation, I didn't even leave my personal number. I left my lawyer's number.
Wow.
And that dude found my number.
Wow.
Yeah, he found my personal number. Literally called me back that same day.
Wow.
Literally tracked me down. And I flew up to Nashville, showed him the record, and he said, I said to myself, who is this girl that blew all my roster, all my artists off the number one list? And here you are calling me. And that's how, literally how she got a record deal.
That's amazing.
You know what I mean? So it's that confidence of the stars aligning up and knowing what you have and knowing what's right, knowing when to strike, and executing. That's my whole life has been about execution and completion and seeing where things land. You know what I mean? So,
right.
Boom.
So you basically partner with her in that process.
Yeah.
So what would you say to? Because I'm honestly, there's a lot of independent artists in gospel, probably in everything, but I think gospel probably be your forte.
Yeah.
What is the right formula for success? Because I feel like you've done this multiple times. So it's not like you just got one artist that you've done it with. You've done this multiple times, and you brought up something else I'll bring up after this. But what's your formula, or I guess how would you direct someone who's they're independent, they singing at their church, they doing good, whatever, they're getting a little bit of popularity in the local community. What would be the step you would think that they should do?
I think people, artists, independent artists, mostly the indies, they are forgetting the importance of a team. And a good amount of artists, really the majority, think that if they get signed, the label does everything for them. Right. You know what I mean? They're going to tell them where to go, tell them where to sing, tell them how to look, tell them, what to post. Those days are over, bro. Like, artist development is no longer, it doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
So you got to do the daggone work, man. You got to have a team. So I think every independent artist needs a team just to keep them encouraged,
right? Just
to keep them on point, because you need that accountability. So what does team mean? You want to get?
Because I was going to say, some people be like, "Oh yeah, so I don't have the money, so I got to pay a bunch of people."
No.
Or I get to let them do everything. Like, explain that. I know you're going to explain.
And team doesn't mean management, because there's a lot of artists that y'all got to manage it. And you don't got nothing to manage.
Exactly.
What do you have? A manager does not mean team. No, I mean a circle of people that are excited about helping you.
Yeah.
People who believe in you.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because if you have, it's like, name one Fortune 500 company, Samar, that does not have a team meeting.
Right.
Name any corporation that does not have a weekly meeting.
Right.
At a round table, like off the back, like, here's my ideas, boom, boom, boom.
Intentional.
How can we make the just
or quarterly meetings or annual meetings.
Right. So independent artists, they try to be on their one man band. And that crap don't really work no more, man. You need a team. You need a team of your friends. Or your team, people from your church that know graphic design, and somebody can help you polish up how your graphics looking on your social media.
Yeah.
Your girl that does hair and really fashionable, like, yo, can you help me? You know what I mean? Help me.
Style
like, I want to, style me a little bit. I got a photo shoot. Team, first of all, there's so many people in the world who want to be a part of something great, and they want to be a part of something great at its grassroots level.
Yeah.
They want to be a part. So you got to have people to bounce things off, bounce ideas off, and help you get to where you're trying to get further, because everybody has great ideas. I got a team as a producer. I got a whole squad of people, that I'm showing music to, battle testing before this music leaves the walls. I got a team of people I'm showing joints to, you know what I mean? That's important to me, that this music is translating in a way that I'm not crazy. I need to make sure that I'm not crazy. And real people will tell you the truth. Sometimes I don't, it's not about showing music to your aunts and your mom, but sometimes you gotta get some strangers in the room and let some people that'll be brutally honest. I tell my team to send this tune to one of their homies who don't know me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I need the truth.
Yeah.
I need the truth.
Yeah.
So I think
Well, you could do something with that.
I can know my meter. What's the meter? What's really, really going on? So independent artists, they need to get a team of people that can help them along the way, because you get a circle. Once you form a circle, it's energy that's in those circles that just help you get a lot further than you just trying to do everything by yourself, or number two, waiting for somebody to do it for you. You have to do the work. You got to find out what that looks like. You got to do you got to do your research. A lot of people just don't really take the time out to research where they're trying to go. They have in their heads where they're trying to go, but okay, if you feel like you're the next CC Winans, right? Like if I know I don't have to sound like CC. I'm not trying to be CC, but I want to know all the people that work with CC, because if I study who does what with CC, those people, you'll see them with her all the time. I pay attention to social media. When I'm trying to meet a record label or a record exec, I find out who is his team.
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to figure out a path to get to that person.
Right.
So independent artists, find a path to get to the people the system that you trying to get be a part of. If it's CC Winans, there's people that are runners for CC Winans. You know what? I want to be cool with them. Who is she always with? You know what I mean? I want to find out. And that's how I really honestly built a good amount of my success, the relationship business. A lot of people forget that this is the relationship business.
Right.
Who you know, how who they are and how you treat them. You know what I mean? And don't use every opportunity just as an opportunity to take pictures and they're like, oh, I love your music. Nah. You're going to get somebody's attention if you know a little bit more about them.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, yo, I'm from Detroit too, South Side. I'm from, you want to know that about CC Winans, right? So you're like, oh, you're from South Side. Like, how do you spark conversation?
A real conversation. Yeah,
not just your average conversation. We just got to do more. You got to do more.
No, that's a fact. That's a fact. So you talked about grassroots and people. I think people discredit grassroots. I think.
Yeah.
And God, I think, orchestrates grassroots a certain way where we don't know what's happening in real time.
Yeah.
But then when we look later on down the road, we're like, yo, Dana was there with Ty and
how about that?
With all of these things.
Yeah.
And you told the story about how an engineer told you was a producer, basically.
He did.
So tell us about that story. And again, this is grassroots because you were just doing the thing.
Grassroots, yeah.
You weren't like, oh, I'm trying to be a producer.
Yeah.
You were just doing the work.
Yeah, I was just doing the work, and I showed up every day, doing the work. Everybody knew that I was super serious about it because I was almost like telling everybody what to do. You know what I mean? And I didn't mean it. At the time when Ty got his first record deal, to be perfectly honest, we had our producer was James Poyser, who signed us, and Chauncey Childs at Axis Music Group. They signed us. And so when we went to go, do Life, that was a studio record that James killed that joint. He had us in the studio every day. But we're like these young kids with ideas all the time.
And it was a record called Ideas.
Yeah, it was a record, Ideas and Concepts. That was the first record.
I
we did
had
that
that
in
one.
a
I brought that one.
garage. Yeah, we did that in a garage. So we had Ideas and Concepts, and then we did Life. So we finished that record, and now we're ready for record number 2, which was the Victory Live. And bro, we could not find our producer. We could not find James Poyser. He was in LA a lot, doing a lot with Dr. Dre, Erykah Badu. We can't even hate. I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah.
But we went to Philly every day just trying to get in the studio to get our ideas cut. And we just could not, we couldn't get any space in the studio all the time. So I went to one of the label heads at the time, exec, which was Chauncey, James' partner. And I said, man, bro, like, we feeling some kind of way. I know we're like low on the totem pole and everything, but bro, we got all these ideas and we don't got nowhere to lay them or get them out. And James is not picking, shout out to James. Sorry, James. Not throwing you under the bus. But James ain't showing up. You know what I mean? Like, what do we do with that? And Chauncey was like, all right, this is what we're going to do. The studio's open this night. You show up. Here's the keys. Here's the keys. Do you mind working at night? I said, I don't care. Like we work nights, mornings, you whatever day you open that studio, we gonna be there. And that boy gave me them keys, bro. Bro, when I say I had a gravy train, bro, I had the band in from 11 to 1. I had the sinkers from 1 to 3. And we go home and then we do it the next day. I was bringing the singers in from 10 to 11 the next day. Whatever we had to do, I just had a train. I'm like scheduling everybody. And now, mind you, we had just got the deal with Sony on Ty. So Ty was doing a lot of promo stuff. He wasn't there all the time.
Right.
And I'm facilitating, like, yo, we gonna be here, blah, blah. And I had this train. By the time we were done, man, those demos were so rocking. And we was ready because we thought we was doing another studio record.
Okay.
And we showed the stuff to them. And right before, we had completed everything, the white engineer who was there was every day, his name Ryan Moyes. He looks at me and is like, yo, bro, you just produced this whole record.
Wow.
And I was like, what do you mean? Like, what's that?
What does that mean?
What does me being the producer mean? James is the producer. Because I never knew what a producer was. I just thought he was in charge and, told us what to do, told us what to play. And
he done undercut.
For sure.
Planted a seed.
So I'm like, he says that. And immediately I called Ty. I was like, yo, this white boy just said, we produced. I ain't even tell him I said me. He said we produced this joint. Like, we should tell the label we want to produce it because we pretty much done.
Right.
And Ty was like, all right, I'm calling him. Called him. I was like, yo, James ain't here. We got mad ideas. You saw what we just did. We want to produce our own record. And he couldn't even say no.
Right.
Because all the pieces were there, all the ingredients were there.
Yeah.
So again, that hard work of just zoned in, locked in, and the dude told me who I was and what I did. I was like, oh, and I was serious from that day. Oh, I'm a music producer.
Yeah.
And then I really intentionally stopped playing for people. Like I stopped gigging. I stopped touring.
Because you're like,
because I wanted to be seen as that.
Yeah.
And I know how people are fickle in the music business. I've seen a million times, like, however you start is how people will always look at you.
Yeah.
Kirk Franklin can't go and do a Latino record, try to be a Latino artist. It used to be they would just laugh at him.
We know what you are, right?
There's certain people that can move through certain things because, they're smart enough to do it, but it's still not taking away that that's the people see them one way.
Yeah,
it's very hard for them to get out of that mindset of who they used to be.
Right.
You know what I mean? If you really pay attention, that's why it's so hard for like people, Molly started as a gospel dude and then he went to the R&B.
Tried to do R&B, yeah.
And then now you swing back to gospel.
Yeah.
But confuse the people.
Yeah.
They only want to see him
the
as
people who accepted you, they want you at where they accepted you. Yeah.
There you have
They loved you for that.
They love you for that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And that's the difficult. I mean, I almost find like that. I wonder if that was the challenge that Al Green had. Remember, Al Green was like gospel, and then like R&B.
Yes.
I think I am gospel still.
Yeah, I think I am. I think I am. But in my opinion, he successfully switched over there because I think the gospel market was, so small. Right.
It wasn't as competitive. And then he's still amazing.
He's
still amazing.
Yeah,
and his sound is ridiculous. So.
The sound is absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
So I think you really have to be good enough to be able to just, kind of go through those lines and create your own thread. But yeah, it's hard for people don't like seeing you that one way. So I always said that to myself. I want to be known as a producer. I want to be known as a songwriter. So I don't want people to call me Seabass anymore because that was like my stage name. I want to be, I am Dana Sorey. Who's that? You never really knew.
So let me introduce you.
Thank you. Let me introduce you. And, and I always make it a note to say my full name too.
Yeah.
Like, I'm Dana Sorey.
Yeah.
Like I want you to know this is my title. This is my new lane. You know what I mean? So I had to like reinvent how people looked at me, even if you knew me or not. You know what I mean? So going on social media and they see Seabass and like, his real name is Dana Sorey. Right.
Dana out of Seabass. Okay.
I didn't know his name. I thought he was, just an organist. You know what I mean? So that's important. You know what I mean? So however you come out, people gonna always remember you as that. So I took that very, very seriously, that position. And that shout out to Ryan. I tell that story all the time. If he did not say that, man, I don't think that click would have went off in me to be serious about it.
Yeah.
And what's that look like? And, how does that look on me? And really walk into it and believe it and make everyone else believe it.
It's crazy how somebody could just say something that almost seems casual, but it's probably prophetic. Almost.
Agreed.
You know what I'm saying? And God uses those things like, say this.
I know. Isn't that amazing? Yeah.
He needs to hear this.
I know.
So I mean, it's crazy. One of the things, and I saw Jason at your last event in Delaware. So, and I mentioned to him, I was like, yo, I remember seeing you perform with Ty Tribbett.
Yeah.
Which a lot of people probably didn't even know that. No. But obviously that's y'all go back way that far back.
Bro, we tried to walk, there was a song called It's Time Now.
Yeah,
it's
I remember that.
Now. And Jason did.
And he sang on the end of it.
He sang on the end of that.
Yeah.
We tried, we were doing things like that all the time, just trying to take care of homies. Angie White was singing on thing. There's another guy named Robe, you know what I mean? We were really trying to put our team members on and, hoping we can walk into certain situations. But we brought Jason and was like, yeah, that's another one of our homies. We can do a whole record on him.
Yeah.
But they just didn't hear. They felt like Jason's tone was too nasally.
Oh, wow.
And his
tone is ridiculous.
No, but now it's like when we told Jason that, you know what I mean, that they took a hard pass on
because
getting a record deal because just tone.
Yeah.
Jason took that thing and said, you know what?
Feedback.
Okay. And whatever negative they said, you know what I mean? He went and said, you know what? I'm gonna polish it. And that boy has one of the cleanest tones in my personal opinion.
Absolutely.
Top male vocalist when it comes to tone.
Absolutely.
He is a marksman. He's a specialist at tone because he knew what they said. And that really set him back. Like, my tone, like what does that
mean? Exactly.
What does that even mean?
It makes you do the same thing as you're a producer. It's the same idea.
You dial in, so you gotta take them bumps and bruises, man. Oh, in this business,
unfortunately, but
you have to be an alligator.
But fortunately, because at least it gives you something to work with.
Agreed.
You know what I mean? And how you take it matters. He could have took that and said, "Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about," and just took it and just. Been bitter and hurt, and then never changed,
dude. I
didn't think he changed that much, but like I can hear definitely a maturity in his sound.
This is a maturity. Just practice. I watched him practice.
Put the time in,
put the time in and get it right. And a lot of people was always also mistaking him with
his brother
Fred Hammond, Eric Dawkins, and Marvin Sapp. They all in Marvin Sapp like synonymous. But I was like, nah, he's like, and I gotta get my own. Yeah, he gotta get my own thing. So and speaking about taking bruises and bones and hits, I remember I sat with James because we were sitting, we were in James Poison Space all the time. I had about 30 tracks, bro, like instrument tracks. You know what I mean? I showed James like, yo, James, I'm trying, what you think about my track? And James was always really cool. He used to always let me show him joints, and he said, bro, like, it's good. I mean, and he listened to all 30.
Wow.
Shout out to James.
That's a big guy.
I'm not, I can't, I'm sorry. I'm not listening to all 30.
Listen to the second one. Yeah. You got anything else?
I do my due diligence. If you're going to send me music, I learned a long time ago, you send your top 2 or 3. Because if a label sees 2, 3, if they see 3 songs, they're not listening to the record.
Wow.
They want to see 1. They want it to be your best. And
because they want you to have narrowed it down for them.
Period. We get overwhelmed.
We're
talking about piles of music, y'all. People want us to hear. So,
and then, it's worse now. Well, I don't know if it was the worse or early, because I remember when you used to get tapes, demo tapes. Yeah. You know how many demo tapes I've sent over years?
The stack of demo tapes now is just a stack of emails.
Exactly. Emails with stream links.
It's the same thing. And you see them 5 attachments, you're like, I'm not looking at that email. I'm just not.
But then also it's time. Like, who got really time to listen to all of that stuff?
We do not have time.
Even if it could be a gold mine. It don't matter.
It could be a gold mine. I'm sorry. God will allow me to find
it if it is. Exactly.
And I truly believe that, because trust me, I found some.
You
but I encourage
another way.
But I'm the labels and people that do music all the time, they are the ones that you should know the rules of engagement. The rules of engagement is your best song or your top 2. That should be it. But James let me, he showed me, he let me listen to all 30, bro. And he said one thing that really changed my perspective. He said, these are great. Like, I understand everything you're trying to do. But he said, there's no room for lyric. He said, there's no room for melody, for anyone to contribute to melody on this, because you got so many turns. He said the song, we don't even know what the message is, but you done got melody throughout the whole track. You telling, like, you're not leaving any room for more creatives to add on top of this. So simple is better. So I had to go back in and take the lead sounds, take the horns out, take the string lines out, it down. Because I was forcing you. Yeah, I was forcing people to go on my melody, which would affect a songwriter of writing beautiful.
Like either I'm going to write to that melody, or there's no song.
Or there's no song. So serving the song is important. Yeah. Less is more, like, you know what I mean? And with production, when people were sending us tunes and songs now, I'm always running to the songs that has less production. Yeah. Because that's
crazy. Some people
I gotta hear myself. I gotta hear myself in it. And I want the artists and the writers that I want to bring in, if nothing is written already, I want them to hear themselves in it. Yeah. So you have to simplify.
It's crazy because to me there's an art to it, right? Yeah. Like some of the most ridiculous musicians we know. Yeah. Me and my friend, we used to always talk about this. We'd be like, this dude is the baddest musician we know, right, in the area. But production, just okay.
He's not there.
Because it's gonna feel like it's too much in the production.
It is.
Because
it's not gonna feel like it.
It is.
It is too much.
But then somebody, you might not think is killing on the just playing. Yeah. But their production's amazing.
Their production is amazing.
You know what I'm saying? And so we trust me, we've had debates about this all the time. Yes. Because it's an art to production that's a little bit different than playing. Because in playing, a lot of times you trying to be the killer on the track. You know what I'm saying? And as I've played with more bands, and you could tell us about this with like Soundcheck. Mm-hmm. When I started playing with bands that had a horn in it, right? Or a horn section. Yeah. I found that I had to play less. I had to play less.
You had to.
When I learned like Cool in the Game, when I do like we used to do weddings and stuff in Atlantic City, all that stuff. When I used to do those joints, and I would learn like the Cool in the Gang or Bustin' Loose, these records, the piano part was so simple. So simple. Like, I mean, like, I'm like, yo, one hand, 3 fingers, 2 fingers.
And the discipline of that, Samar, because
that's the thing.
That's how I really find great studio musicians. Jokers that have discipline. Yeah. Less is so much more, y'all. Yeah. I promise you. The greatest studio musician to me and the greatest players to me are the jokers who never are trying to shine. Yeah. They're the dudes who appreciate that 3-finger chord and that slap bass line on a verse, and then back to back to a muted bass on the chorus. You know what I mean? Like, that kind of discipline is what the greats look for. Quincy used to say that all the time. Quincy used to cut all his records in the middle of the night because he said that's when that alpha mind was asleep. Yeah. He would wear them dudes out and did all this because he did not want musicians coming there like, oh, I got to do this. I got this. Nah, he wanted you to be in a certain state in your mind. I'm tired of playing this part. Yeah. You know what I mean? And that alpha thing that goes on your brains is gone in the middle of the night. Yeah. And that's what Quincy made his greatest records. And that's genius. He wanted cats tired. Like, who thinks of that? Yeah. I want you tired, bro.
I want your ego tired.
There you go.
Really.
That's why I run my tunes. So my boys will tell you, when we go to cut records, we ain't finding the sauce until take 10, 15. Wow. For me. You know what I mean? I brought in some of the best. I brought in the YouTube sensations, and they can't keep up. I'm being honest. They like, we ain't done yet. Yeah. Oh, you thought you was coming in
one and done. Yeah. You thought I was coming to cut your record.
Oh yeah, no, bro. Like, we getting a vibe.
We putting it together. Exactly. Putting the jelly together.
I had to send them cats home.
No, I hear
Yeah, I
you.
just
I hear you.
send them home because
That's crazy.
They can't keep up. You know what I mean?
But it's so important. The vibe is so important. I mean, and I think you got to be unselfish because
really
it's selfish to come into a gig, and not because there's not enough places where they're going to do it.
Yeah.
There's people who will hire you just because of who you are and what you did on YouTube or IG, which is listen. I respect them. Yeah. I was talking to my other man. I'm like, yo, Jokers is in a whole nother place than I could say I was at their age.
Right.
And because they have access. They have a certain access we ain't have.
Agreed.
You know what I'm saying? I remember we had mini disc recorders and,
remember those?
And video cameras. We were trying to catch something from somebody. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And that's before you had no cell phones, you know, with no camera on it. Yeah. So now you got YouTube, you got internet. We had no internet.
We didn't have any.
So you literally had to either be sitting from under somebody or you had to go watch somebody or just be like train your ear to be that good.
There you go.
And and those things was difficult. It wasn't easy. It took time.
Yeah. And to be perfectly honest, you know, Soundcheck we were very busy.
Yeah, I was kidding.
I mean, now when I say busy, no, we played too much. We overplayed.
I get it.
We were kids.
Yeah.
And it took me to go on my first tour to start understanding what discipline is. And I sat with this dude named Benjamin Love and Stanley Brown, and they started teaching me the importance of patterns. Whereas in before with Soundcheck, there was no rules.
It was like
played all
what they call through
other.
Compose. Like we're gonna keep writing. Okay, the next section we're gonna write something new.
God, like bro, we played over each other all the time. But when I start learning, I start bringing that discipline to Soundcheck, and no, that's Spank spot.
Yeah.
P, me and you, we will stay right here. Oh, that's Thad's spot.
Yeah.
And we start like, yo, play it the same way, y'all. Like, let's get this drink right. Let's play it the same way. That way we know that's Thad's spot.
Yeah.
We know that's Paris spot. We know that's Spank spot. Oh, that's an Oregon spot. And we started to just really appreciate patterns.
Yeah.
Appreciate the discipline of get out the way. The only person, honestly, on that band that was really allowed to shine, and honest to God, at least for me as a musical director, was Spanky. Was Spank.
Yeah.
Because Spank had the ability to hear what Paris was doing and accent that.
Yeah.
And then or listen what that is doing, accent that. And you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then it just was just like this congruency that happened. And then we all could shine when the reprise came.
Because he's paying attention though. So that there's a certain awareness to that. I think where I think some musicians are lost in that is, like I said, it's I would call it being selfish because you're not thinking about everybody else.
Agreed.
When you're thinking about everybody else, it's like, and I listen, I work with young musicians all the time still. All my career as an MD, I've worked with young musicians.
Yeah.
And I remember like first was drummers. I'd be like, yo, y'all got to learn the pocket. I love to hear your chops, but you got to know where to place them.
Yeah.
Because if you don't know where to place them, you're going to run out. And even if you didn't run out, even if you had a chop for the whole song, we don't want to hear it.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like, because it's not about you. And then once you start working with artists and working with singers and all that, bro, we're support. You know what I'm saying? So if you don't understand your support, then go get you a gig where it's just you.
Go get your jazz
and guess
joint.
what? You're going to want people to support you.
There
so
you
you're going to understand it a different way.
Dave Weckel and Chicory and get on
but then they support each other still. So regardless of where you find it, you'll see that that's the key to success in any unit. Now, if you by yourself, but guess what? Not too many people going to just go watch solo drum or solo anything. Not that you can't. No, I've watched it, but then I'll be like, okay, I want to hear something else. Or I like, it's better when I hear the whole thing. So
exactly,
it is an art though.
And Corey Henry is he's a specialist at that. He's made to shine.
Yeah. That's his show.
That's his show.
Exactly.
But then if you really pay attention, you see when he brings it down.
Yeah.
And it's like, yo, it's about the song at the end of the day. And now he's like, just beautiful chords over the beautiful song he's singing or whatever the case may be. And that's the other thing. It's got to feel good, y'all. Like, you know what I mean? Let's not overpower, overproduce. Like, pay attention to what's going on with the song and what's going on with the message and compliment that, whether live or on records. We had fun whenever we did live. There wasn't a whole lot of discipline to that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because we were having fun. But the records, man, you know what I mean? We matured very quickly with that band, with Soundcheck. Man, every record to me just got better and better and better. You know what I mean?
I mean, you got that band set a standard for like that. I mean, so gospel had its times, like it elevated at different times, right?
Yeah.
You listen to the Hawkins, that was an amazing thing, or even Andre Crouch, amazing stuff.
Agreed.
But even the way they recorded stuff wasn't the same.
No,
so once you started getting multi-tracks and all of that stuff and more details, you know, you got like a Hez who started a whole different thing, and James Hall started a whole different thing. And then when you guys came along, y'all had more, like they had bands and they had the synths and all that stuff, but nobody was using horns.
No,
I didn't see nobody using. I don't remember.
No.
And of course, you know, Jersey. You like, there was other, like Philly had people like Tony Moore, Jehovah's Chosen, and they were killing.
Bradshaw,
killing. But so you know.
But you got to think, those Philly bands, we always started with one horn player because we ain't know no other.
Right. I got one guy I know.
It's always one horn to be like, I'm tired of playing by myself. Yo, can I bring my, I went to school with my girl, could she come through?
Right.
Like, Delandry, okay, Curry. So our band was always like the Transformers. Like over time, we just learned new people. Oh, you should come to rehearsal. Blah, blah, blah. And then before you know it, we was 28 piece. Like what? People.
Speaking of your band, I got first of all, rest in peace, Paris, amazing dude.
God bless, I miss that dude so much.
He told the story on this. I forget what it was. I can tell. I think some gospel producer joint. Okay. He was talking about how Spanky came to Soundcheck.
Yeah,
and he said it was a crazy story actually.
Yeah. Because
I think was Eric the drummer first or something like that?
No, Pudge.
Pudge was the drummer.
Pudge Tribbett. Spank really kind of came in because Pudge was going to college.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, that's really like how it all kind of happened. Pudge had a football scholarship.
Oh, nice.
And we were trying to figure, I can't remember who Spank was playing for at the time in Philly, but it was like one of them Jehovah Chosen type crews or, you know, a whole bunch of, Spank played for so many different people too. Like it's hard to really put a finger on him who he played for. But that was like the timing was immaculate at the end of the day that Pudge was heading out and we were literally on, oh my God, what are we about to do? Right. So we leaned on Eric, who was, you know, Ty's cousin at the time. And he did some gigs, you know, definitely was doing some gigs with us here and there, but Eric was huge on driving tour buses. And
that's what I heard. That's crazy. That's a crazy pivot right there.
That's a crazy pivot. Tour buses. That's a whole other story. I don't know. Still does.
I heard that story. I'm like, that's a different thing to think about. Like, let me get into the tour bus.
I don't know how he did it, and he kept a tour bus.
I ain't mad at him. That's smart.
To this day, he drives tour buses.
That's dope, though. Because there's a way to be connected to what you love.
Yeah.
And still get paper in a thing that ain't saturated. Exactly. I'm sure it ain't saturated.
He was the first entrepreneur we knew of. He was riding a tour bus and playing drums for the artists. Like,
nice. I got both.
Yeah. He pulled it off. And so you understand he was always an awesome drummer too, because they were doing Jill Scott, you know what I mean? And you know, he was bringing Vivian, and, you know, and he was bringing in, you know, the homies, bringing in Paris, bringing in Thad, and that's how Thad got the Jill Scott gig, and you know what I mean? They had a whole thing going on. But that was really that Philly hub that we kind of came to. We played for any and everybody that would allow us to come and play and hang out. That was just one of the things that we always done.
Nah, that's dope.
But yeah, Spank was magical. He's magically showed up. And I
almost feel like he said a story that didn't sound realistic. Like on a gig, he was just walking by or something. I'm gonna go back and find it.
No, honestly, it very well may be true.
It might have been
I may not have been there.
Right.
But a lot of that happened with our band, man. It's like even how we met Paris. He was playing for a whole different guy, and we was like, where is all these sounds coming from? We couldn't even see him. This little guy had two keyboards on top of an organ. And we were in the back of the church because we were, you know, going to sing that night.
Right.
But this dude named John Payton was up there in Paris playing. And we was like, who is playing? Like, but we couldn't see nobody.
Wow.
We had to get the gear up to the front of the church to see. It was this little boy. And me and Tom was like, and Dad's like, who is this kid?
Wow.
We didn't know if he was 10 or 12.
Wow.
We had ongoing joke, the parents was 12. You know what I mean? But he was like pretty much 14 or 15 at the time. And he was murder, man. And we was like, yo, bro, you got to come to rehearsal. You got to hang out with us. And we were trying to be very respectful to whoever he was playing for at the time. But he came through. That's what I'm saying, man. It's like we met all these people in such weird moments and eras, but it ended up just kind of coming together, man. And it was always love. And it was really God moving those pieces.
Oh,
around.
That's exactly.
You know what I mean? But very well, I could believe that. Spank was probably walking past something and saw and hopped on and was like, yo, who is that? And we always had, kept each other's numbers. And, by them time we was on, Nextels and, you know what I mean? Beeper.
Chirps.
Chirp. Oh, you chirping like about 2 ways.
Oh, yeah.
And like 2 ways numbers and, keeping in contact. So, yeah, we were all about meeting people and finding out. No different than Stevie Wonder being down the street from Motown. Yeah. And playing the harmonica in the corner, and somebody said, "There's a kid down there that plays harmonica. What? We need a harmonica player.
We need
Tell
one
him
of
to
those.
come in." Oh, he's blind?
Wow.
Oh, wow. Okay. And then that boy got on and start playing all the instruments.
Yeah.
Oh, we gotta keep him close by. He sings.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So what I mean. So that's that's why I love the Stay Home Money movement, man. I'm always trying to remind people that the art of collaboration is pretty much the ingredients to great records.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
Top 30 music right now, Samar, does not have one writer.
Yeah.
The days of just Diane Warren by herself.
Yeah. Not there no more.
You know what I mean?
It's crazy. I have debates about that too.
Yeah.
I have a really dope friend of mine. He's an amazing songwriter. Amazing. And I say to him, bro, you have to collaborate more.
You have to.
Not just because not because you may not need to. Actually, you may not need to.
You may not need to.
But you
Some
need
people
to.
are that talented.
But you need to.
Yeah, no, you can have it. You can have that gift to be able to do it by yourself.
Right.
But in this climate, if you're talking about longevity, man, and don't get twisted, Diane Warren wrote a whole lot of hits.
Yeah. And she probably still can.
And she probably still can.
Yeah.
She actually still encourages it.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw a clip of a post of she made a joke about something on Beyonce's album that just really take, I think it was like 10 or 11 people.
Wow.
I'm not saying it takes that.
Right.
But you know what I mean?
But again, it's all about like, that's just a reflection of where the music industry is. And I'm sure with AI is another collaborator. That's really what it is.
Really is.
And so, honestly, if AI sets the tone of a new sound, then it's going to be hard for you to get into that part of the industry without understanding that sound. Even if you don't use it exclusively. Because you don't, if you know what you're doing, you don't have to use it exclusively. But it could be a tool.
Yeah, what tool? How are you using that particular
Absolutely.
tool? And what are you doing?
It's auto-tune.
To benefit
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
It
is, yeah.
And auto-tune became a sound for some people. It's like you can't have a record unless the pitch is impeccable.
Yeah, is impeccable.
You know what I'm saying? It's crazy.
Because everybody, and then just the fad of how things work now. You know what I mean? Auto-tune was huge. You know what I mean? Tuning notes, and T-Pain just hit that
just
joint. It's like, yo,
but
that sounds crazy.
He said he was looking for something edge, some kind of edge. Yeah.
He was looking for that particular edge, and then it becomes a fad,
a standard,
it's a standard, and and then people get tired of it, and then they move on, and then you can't forsake people who really, really sing very well and don't need tuning.
Right,
bro. You know how many artists that I come in here who don't need tuning at all, and they're like, "You don't hear that?" No, I don't. I really don't. Exactly. And then I have to tell them. I said, "Well, listen." Everything doesn't need it. Like we're working on a Motown vibe. Barry Gordy
didn't have all
that frequency that people that vibrato was for a reason.
Yeah,
you know,
it was intentional.
It was intentional.
Yeah.
So we want to get back to those sonics again. Serve the song, and we're not going to use auto tune on this because
it doesn't fit the song we're trying to make.
We want that rawness. We want that character and. AI and these plugins can manipulate it at times. You know what I mean? That's why I have an analog and digital studio. I want to be able to go between both worlds without missing a beat. You know what I mean? And make sure that we get that we're nailing sonically what we're trying to accomplish for the particular song, because that's important to me.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think you that idea of serving a song is very important, and I think some people miss that. Yeah. And again, as a producer, you can miss it trying to shine. Yeah. As a just as an artist, you can miss it trying to shine. But it's really about like delivering the song, because if it's a great song, someone else could sing it and it still be hot and it still be dope, or in some cases be better than the original. I
totally agree. Totally agree. But having team and having bodies, man, like having bodies on music is just so important. It's really important now too, because we just got to keep up this together. We have to keep up with togetherness. Everybody is separating. There's like this, I don't know, like this umbrella over the earth right now where everybody is doing everything alone, or they leaning on computers. They're leaning on, everybody's getting lazy. And I don't want that. I want people to keep the energy of togetherness when it comes to, most importantly, making music. Yeah. You know what I mean? I don't mind bedroom producers that do everything and they got their beats, but every bedroom producer, at the end of the day that I know of, got some of the greatest songs just sitting on their hard drive and no one knows it. Yeah. On their computers and no one knows it. Yeah. You know what I mean? So you gotta share.
You gotta find a way,
You gotta bounce off people. Yeah. You know what I mean? You just do.
And not just people who support you or just want, because I think you said before, like playing stuff for your auntie or whatever. Even your peers could be like that, because if they know that that's how you like, okay, he just wanted me to validate this. Yeah. And it doesn't mean that this is not a good record or not. Yeah. But if you establish a environment of criticism, agree, because that's important. Yeah. If you listen, I want your real opinion on this. Don't worry about it. I can take it. Yeah. Then now I can share with you, because I don't listen. I'm critical, and not in a negative way, but I'm critical. I try to say, okay, if I'm gonna be critical, I'm gonna give you a way to fix. Yeah. I'm gonna give you a suggestion. Yeah. I'm not gonna just say, yo, this sucks.
No, you know what I mean? And you're critical. Let's think about why you're critical. Because you care. Right. And and all of us, Eric Roberson always taught me, man, we are chasing goosebumps. We're not just trying to do things to do things. Okay, right. We're trying to do things that really touch the earth, that are important, that it reaches someone's, emotions and someone's heart, or someone's mind, that's what we're tugging on people's emotions. That's what music is supposed to do, whether pop, gospel, orchestral, you know what I mean? It's anything. Cinematic. We're in the business of touching emotions with melody and lyrics and stuff. That's important to you. That's important to me. So of course, that criticizing is important when it's just thrown together. We know. Yeah. I can tell you so many records that are thrown together. You can listen to a record and know it's thrown together. Yeah, Anybody that does music professionally knows when something is thrown together. Right. And sometimes it's thrown together, Samar, right? But with all the right people. Yeah. They may brought his homies on it. Yeah. And that thrown together is beautiful.
It's different. Yeah.
It's a different thrown together. Yeah. So we even know the difference between that. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's just it's a freak. How does the world know when a hit song is a hit song? It's just it's something that's happening in that frequency and in the season of whoever wrote that song, that everybody feels it and everybody knows, yo, that joint is catchy. That's my joint. But everybody's saying the same thing. Yeah. They saying it in other countries. They saying it in the United States. They saying it, wherever they are. But how does that happen? Because there's something going on that's touching everybody at the same time. Yeah. You know what I mean? So that's important to us.
You're saying a lot of good stuff. One of the things that I learned from being a part of your mentorship thing is number one rule.
Completion.
Nah,
all day long.
And then you brought up Eric. Eric brought up the number two rule. Networking.
It's
So
everything.
those, to me, those two rules are everything, really everything.
If you get those two, my goodness,
Yeah.
the sky's the limit.
Yeah.
The sky's the
And
limit.
it's so easy, like, to be creative and just have a bunch of.
Thanks for listening. To stay up to date between episodes, follow us on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram, and make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube channel. If you liked what you heard today, or if there's something specific you want us to dive into next, leave us a comment. Catch you in the next episode.
Too blessed.